Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Right. Okay. Thursday, January 16th. This is my third attempt at going live this morning uh, on YouTube. Thank you, YouTube, for eventually letting me be able to talk to this screen. Very important. Here's the thing. I think the first time I tried this morning, I've done everything exactly the same, followed the little, 1 to 10 steps you have to do to go live. And I eventually got through, but the first time, the second time, this is the third attempt. So hello, Catherine Titus. How you doing? All right. Right. Let's see if I can remember, because I wanted it to be stream of consciousness, just awake, and then I can talk to the screen. Let me see if I can remember what I titled the first one. Is it real? Question mark. And then the description, e-state. Is it real estate? This digital interface that we are using all the time. Hello. Wow, I tried to go on at 7 o'clock, I think. Anyway, this digital interface we're using is a brilliant tool that is owned by Mr. Google, this one. And I think some of these ones are being closed down because oh, excuse me, because some people have decided that it's seditious. Seditious, that's a good word, isn't it? Excuse me. Oh dear, something's got up my nose. Maybe it's the smell. Excuse me, that's disgusting. Sorry, don't want to open a video with me blowing my nose and sneezing, but oh dear, dear, dear. Sorry, there's nobody here to spread germs to, so. Woo. Bless me. Where's that come from? I know where that comes from. Oh, bless you. That expression, bless you, after a sneeze, comes from a time in history. Oh dear, oh dear. Now I've gone live and they're allowing me to go live. I can't go live because they've given me things to sneeze about. Bless me. Sorry. Oh dear. If I stifle it, I get jolts. Oh dear, oh dear. My dad used to get sneezing fits like this. Very sensitive oral factory nerve. All right. Enough of that. Whew. Coffee. It's coming back. Oh dear. Oh, maybe I'm just doing it wrong. But I will continue to defend my right to be wrong. Am I right to be wrong? Yeah, of course. Oh dear. Oh, you got to laugh, haven't you? Ugh. It's all getting a bit too much. Not for me. I'm fine. Many people are traveling parallel paths to people who are a bad influence on them. They've decided to align themselves on parallel paths with people who are really trying to manipulate them. And the people who are on these parallel paths with you are aware that you are coming up to understanding what life is really about. And some of them are using it for nefarious, good word, nefarious means. They're enslaving you to that parallel play, that's like, it's almost like they're using some sort of attractor to get you to believe the nonsense that they're espousing. And I might be doing the same thing, right? There's a possibility that I'm on my timeline, on my path, and then I'm encouraging you to get on my path with me to create a better world through love and peace and understanding and empathy. I might be doing that. But that's the point, is I'm encouraging people to join me on the path to understanding how our human experience is a fluctuation. The people who think they're in power are playing the same game, except they're locking you in to a reality of control. They want control over you, so you must tread the same path they are. And the path they're treading, those that think they're in power, that are trying to lock you in, those people aren't talking about choice. They're talking about, you have no choice. You have to join us, which is bullshit, because as a human being, you have ultimate choice. You are your own authority. That's the truth. And I'll probably try and edit out the sneezing at the beginning, because I think that's it. I think that's the core of what I'm trying to convey here is you don't have to go along with these people. You just don't. I've been prepared over the last 68 years to stand alone in my belief system and try and create, through being creative, a better world. That's all I've tried to do. And sometimes the narrative got very, very dark, and sometimes it got light, and sometimes it got dark, sometimes it got light. And life is a roller coaster, but we do have a choice, right? You know, you're bombarded with advertising on all of these social platforms that are owned by somebody else. Yeah, well, the technology is not failing people. The technology exists so as I can talk to you, Catherine. So it's good technology. It's just in bad hands. It's not the technology in and of itself. See, the thing is, getting us to blame AI is to externalize our problem. Our real problem is our interaction with AI, or with, call it what you will. AI is not a thing. Artificial intelligence is artificial. It's not real. See what is real, and that's why I entitled the original one I tried to post this morning. What is real? E-state. Because everywhere on digital media now that runs advertising to make more money for themselves, those that own the media, own this interactive device, and how we interact. They own the public platform for our freedom of speech, but they take it away when they don't want you to say the truth. And the truth is, it's good technology in bad hands, and they know that because they're the bad hands that have got it. You see, and that's why they meter out, and they go through all the data, and they go, oh, shut him up, shut him up, shut her up. People are going over to alternative platforms, which are also owned by the same people. It's just they're smaller name companies like Rumble and BitChute and Odyssey. I mean, it all of these. It's like divide and rule, divide and rule, divide and rule. But at the same time, keep hold of the people and lock them into a future that they're deciding what you have. So one of the ads that I'm finding here in Los Angeles that keeps popping up on social media over the last day or two is people offering cash for real estate. No matter what state that real estate is in, it's sell your property for cash. Right on top of these incredible, devastating, and horrific fires that took out major parts of the city, Pacific Palisades and Altadena. I mean, these are not where I live. I'm in a part of Los Angeles that didn't get burnt. But it's like now all these ads for real estate, sell your real estate, no matter what condition it's in, we will buy your property for cash. The vultures are already circling. They smell death. They live on death. Hard to believe, isn't it? It's a parasitic system. We live off you, we live off you, we live off you. But if we can be symbiotic, we can be kind, we can be loving, we can be caring, we can help people understand that they're being manipulated. Nobody wants to be seen to be a fool. I'm not falling for it. But why am I not falling for it? Well, I'm not falling for it because for 68 years, I've recognized that there's a control system. And I don't want a control system. I'm a human being. I want to love everybody. Literally, like unconditionally love everybody and be creative, not destructive. And it's getting harder and harder to be so. Why? Because they keep changing the goalposts. It's like, so you're going to move to California where people are being creative and making beautiful things. And then you get within that system and you realize, oh shit, they moved the goalposts. You can't be creative and succeed. You can only be what they deem you are allowed to be within the system. So fuck the system. I know it sounds gross, but it's like anarchy is no government. I don't want anybody telling me what to do. And peace is the ability to do what you love and to love what you do. Wow. Okay, let's read some Catherine's. Bless you, Achu. Thank you. We say bless you because supposedly when you sneeze, your heart stops momentarily, or so I was told many decades ago. Well, it came out in a historical thing. I mean, the plague, what they call the Black Plague, the bubonic plague that happened in England in the 1660s, which was finally eradicated by the Great Fire of London. So any of this is just bullshit history, right? Because you don't know who wrote it. Usually the victor. But they believed in that time that when you sneezed, you passed on the bubonic plague. It was you're spreading germs, right? They believed that. So anytime someone sneezed, they said bless you. And so you know, you go back to old nursery rhymes that have been changed over the years. I mean, you know, the American version is slightly different from the British version, which is round and round the mulberry bush. Ring a roses, a pocket full of posies. Tissue, tissue, we all fall down. Ring a roses, a pocket full of posies. You know, nosegay. We all tissue, tissue, we all fall down. That was about the plague. You know, our little nursery rhymes we were teaching to our little kids was about the plagues. It's all there's always an element of control. I'll not deny that I'm trying to get people to make better choices, but I want them to choose. I don't want to prevent them from choosing. Okay. I'm laughing, but not at you. I'm laughing at technology because it just figures that it would start working right when you're having a sneezing fit. Yeah, I mean, gosh, my late husband used to get sneezing fits sometimes at a party, but he was sneezed about 10 or 12 times in a row. Could not stop. Yes, similarly, my father did too. But we both have, you know, we all have senses, you know, 6 that we know of, and maybe 7 or 8 or 22. We're working that out. But my olfactory nerve, my sense of smell, has always been a trigger for me, always been something that goes, whoa, you know. So our senses are often there to remind us of something. So, yeah, whenever I smell, I can smell smoke miles away, you know, like miles. I can smell things. I've got a story from my childhood about a sense of smell. That later in life, that same smell happened, and it triggered my childhood memory, which wasn't a pleasant one. And yeah, sensory perception. Yes, you have the right to be wrong or partially correct. It's my experience that most people don't get it all correct, whatever the topic happens to be. But you're trying, and that's what counts. I am trying. Did you know they are intentionally making technology less user-friendly? There's an agenda. Of course. The thing is, those that control the control system, you know, why do you think the people, and I'm going to use names, so I'll probably get into trouble for this. Why do you think that people like Elon Musk, you know, who's stolen technology, Bill Gates, who stole technology and brought it in, made themselves into billionaires, why do you think those people are being cajoled into the power structure that makes us believe that billionaires are more important than ourselves? Why do you think all of that's happening? I mean, of course, they want to make technology. They'll have the easy. You know, this is why I'm lucky. I came through and excuse me. I came through at a time when there wasn't any of this. There wasn't any of this nonsense. That I had to physically, mentally, emotionally get involved with, you know, how things work in a more mechanical sense. Now, my children, 21 and 23, my two daughters, they grew up with this. This is their truth, you know. I mean, so who's in charge of that technology? And then, of course, making it more difficult for those that want to help build that technology into something that can create a better world. That's being wrestled from you by so you'll have a lower tier of the technology that they've got much more powerful and different ways of using that technology. So you're going to get, again, you know, this goes back to the old, everything seems to go back to this old joke analogy of the way the system works. It is there's not enough cake coming over the palace walls, you know, because we live off the crumbs of the ruling elite. I mean, it, but I don't adhere to that. I walk straight in the castle. I'm like, fuck you. I want my cake and eat it. You know, that's another expression. I want my cake and eat. Do you want your cake and eat it? Well, what the fuck else are you going to do with a cake? Oh, you're going to dribble crumbs over the palace wall and keep your servants happy. Fuck that shit. Anyway, sorry, getting rude. Okay. Let's not confuse AI with communications. The whole point of AI is abusive. No, AI is not abusive in and of itself. It was programmed. It was made that way. See, that's the thing with anything that's a artificial. See, keeping it real is in this human form, right? It's organic, it's analog, it's real. You know I'm real. Look, I'm three-dimensional. Well, I've been on studios sets here where people are creating all sorts of artificial, very real looking things because you're actually only viewing me in a 2D sort of way, a flat way. So to create an illusion of me, is this am I real? So is it real? That's the thing. You know, we have to define what is real. Well, I have to be in touch with it and recognize it for what it is. It's dangerous, I'll agree. Artificial intelligence is dangerous because once it's recognized its own algorithm and recognized its own programming, where does it go when we only have the advanced technology of, you know, talking to a screen, which is what I'm doing right now, when other people are, you know, probably spying on me through the window. And you know, who cares? I mean, to me, I'm sorry, but I good technology in bad hands. Are we ready for it? I fucking hope so, because it's in there. It's already done, isn't it? Okay. You allow us small successes and victories, keep us believing that we're going to get some big victories. That is not ever going to happen. Oh, you're a Debbie Downer. Come on, Catherine. It's a land grab, without doubt. It's a land grab. The thing is, you know, if you accept, for me, you know, I have deep, deep roots in my gypsy heritage. So I've become a nomad. I wander and I wonder at this control system. I know that I'm an earthling, right? Uh, well, no. I was dropped off in England. My parents were people who moved around in caravans. Uh, And I'm in touch with that nomadic self, and this world belongs to me. Always has. But I don't own it. I'm renting my time as a human experience. I don't own it. I don't want to fucking own it. I don't want to own any single blade of grass. I want to fulfill my existence as a creative human being, to understand this abundant planet that we live on, that we come from, that we go back to, regardless. So during my short human experience, I'm not going to be greedy and say, I own this. I don't want to own it. They can't take away what I don't own. So I won't feel this sense of loss and grief, which many, many people are doing right now. They have a sense of loss and grief as if they've lost. And some people have lost lives. I mean, a lot of people lost lives in these fires, of course. But do the powers that think they are care about human life? Well, no. The land, oof, you know, we're getting in there, diving. Oof, look at that, loads of money. Do I know who is the main source of all this? No, I don't know the individual, but I do know the one word: greed. Greed. That's it. Greed kills. You get too greedy, you all they've got left is the ability to snuff you out. That's their power. My dad's bigger than your dad, you know, my God's bigger than your God. Just killing in the name of whatever they want. Make it up. So greed, I think, is the main source of all this evil. Nobody wants to see when I tell them that it's the central banks. Well, all wars are bankers' wars. We've been at war since time immemorial. We've always been at war over something, and we've now worked out that the real something that we're at war about is destruction versus creation. But the tool they use the most, and this is the one that my tools, so I'll tell you my tools, but the tool they use is fear. So if they can inflict enough, and I say they, the powers that are currently believing that they're more powerful than me, which they're not. I'll prove that too. Right? Those people use fear as their main tool. Right? Oh my God, I'm going to lose everything. Oh my God, I'm going to die. Well, we're all going to die. We're having a human experience, right? So I accept that. It's fine. I don't want to die in writhing in pain. So I'm going to be a very creative human being, and I'm going to be healthy, and I'm going to try and keep my balance correct, and health, wealth, you know, all that stuff. I keep going, 68, 69, who cares? The point is, they know that they are only able to control us through fear. And what do they fear? Well, they fear love. Because unconditional love, the thing you were born with, the thing you'll die with, is external to their control system. They don't understand that we are infinite beings having a human experience. Now, if we can keep our vibration, our personal and collective vibration, in a middle way, instead of being pushed to these extremes of following fools. I'm going to follow these fools on the right for a long time, and then I'm going to follow these fools on the left for a long time. And well, if the time is shortened and we get right doing the things the left used to do, and left doing the things the right were going to do, we'd be like in this constant memory wipe. We wouldn't remember his story. Our own stories are as important as the written history that these people are constantly rewriting. I mean, how many times are they going to rewrite the manuals? And I mean, how many times are they going to follow? I mean, there's been so many warnings through history. If we don't embrace our own creative power and make that our purpose and find the unconditional love that's inside us and operate from that with kindness and love and empathy and understanding. If we don't use our power, are they going to use theirs? Sure. Fear. Boom. Stomp. You know? It's so on a personal level, on a collective level, we have to find a better way. And there is a better way. There is a better way. It's your choice. Always has been. Okay. Did you know the same factions destroying Gaza are responsible for the LA fire and all the other disasters? Yeah, but it's yes, I did. I do know that the same greedy bastards are doing the same thing all over the planet. They're creating fear, and they're creating death and destruction. You can't create death and destruction because killing people is not a creative process. Tell that to a mass murderer. They don't care about us. They care about them, and they're so greedy that they really can't see, hear, smell, touch, taste. So all of their senses are gone. So what do they want to do? They want to sense something. They want to feel something. So they go out and destroy things, thinking that's their power. Well, that's not power. That's just pure evil. I mean, are there psychopaths in this world? Yes, very small percentage of the population. I mean, I think, I don't know, whatever. I can quote figures, but it's just pointless at this stage because they've taken over the system of measurements, the mismeasurement of man. Gosh, it's really primal what they're doing. But we haven't got to play the primal game. You see, they want you to fight back. Keep poking you with a stick. Come on, good. Fight back. You don't exist. I'm the most powerful thing in the world. So are you, Catherine. Don't get pulled into their fight. It's not your fight. It's not my psyop. There's psychological operations. We've been at war since we stood up. So they have control over the war because they have all these psychological operations. They tell you this is happening over here and this is happening over here and this is happening over here and it's awful. And yes, it is fucking awful. It is awful what they're doing. It's terrible. But going in there and having a scrap with them, they want that. We have to be cleverer. Cleverer. We have to be more aware of the control system in order to walk away from that control system. Life is an active choice. Activate the choice. It's fear versus love. Love always wins. It may take several centuries to get past these greedy bastards, but we will. My children are living proof. TV was invented to have even more impact. Radio, which was designed to have more impact than newspapers and magazines. It's all been plodded out for centuries. Of course it has, yes. Yeah, I mean, how to how to keep you in your place, Yeah. But it's not your place, you see. They're keeping you in the place they've reserved for you. Out of power. Out of powerful influence. We can all influence each other, though. That's the power. That's when we wield our power. It's like, what can we do to change people's minds? Well, we can influence them. Well, how can we influence them? Oh, through the media. Well, let's try And you're right, it's like the media is the interface that the control system is using in order to manipulate the people. So statistics, I mean, I don't want to get too detailed in this because I'm already seen as a complete lunatic and I don't get the chance to talk to people much on this level. So I don't want this YouTube chap, Mr. Google, I don't want him to completely ban me because I want to have influence on people. So if I start talking about his power, I mean, think about that. Think about the power of Google, biggest search engine in the world. Owns all multimedia platforms. I mean, someone's taken over the internet. Well, no, they haven't. I can still use the internet to create great beauty. It's just I have to stay offline whilst I'm doing it. Why do I have to stay offline whilst I'm doing it? Because it gets interfered with. So I can use my computer to make music. Well, kind of have to use a keyboard and whatever, but it's like I interface so as I can create, but I don't do it online. I can't do it online because it gets all messed up, and they know that. They're trying to take away the tools, like you said earlier, Catherine. They're trying to take away your tools because you're being creative with them. Okay, eat your cake and have it too. In other words, you want to eat it, but still have the pretty cake to look at. You say it backward in the US. Well, kind of, sort of. I mean, the thing is that a lot of sloganing and a lot of things from the past have resonant factors that run through humanity. I mean, this is why the meme war, this is who's winning the meme war. It's like, that's your influence. I mean, as much as this is what I'm doing is as much of a meme as, the picture of Bill Gates saying, ha ha ha, I control you. It's no different. It's no different. It's a Pandora's box. Yes, we open the box though. We humans open the box. I mean, look at the opening scene from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Do 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 do. We opened the box. Of course we did. What's the point in being given a box and then you're like, don't open it? I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it's been repeated in so many things. The most comical one I found was Ren and Stimpy, when the cartoon that I enjoyed. They got to him too, the writer and creator of Ren and Stimpy. They eventually got to him too, but the original Ren and Stimpy, there was one called Space Madness, and I think Stimpy was told to be in control of the history eraser button. Now watch that closely, and you'll realize that whoever was creating Ren and Stimpy at that time, he knew the history eraser button. One of the most recent pontificating politicians who is vacuous, has nothing to say, was saying something that she didn't understand what she was saying. And I've talked about this before to lots of people, and I'm not saying it's a left or right thing. I'm just saying what she was actually saying. She didn't know what she was saying. So when you break it down, you realize what she was saying is the same thing that was happening in Ren and Stimpy. It's like the history eraser button. To be unburdened by what was, I mean, that's unburdened from what was. So it's like to ignore history. Whoops, memory wipe. Yeah, it's just, I mean, they're being quite open about this shit. But of course, people are just head down, no nonsense, mindless boogie. You know, just let's keep running. It's like, no, you can't escape what is. You just have to present an alternative, make a choice, choose. All right, and I've gone on for too long now. Now it'll probably not save it because it's too long. I don't know. Wallow? No, I'm not going to wallow. Do. Keep creative, keep moving, keep active in your choices. Keep making sure that your choices are in alignment with your love and peace and understanding and empathy. Just keep aligning with that, and you'll keep going forward. And we don't wallow in self-pity. Too many people are out there right now crying. And I understand grief and the stages of grief. I've lost some beautiful people in my life. And yeah, there's grief, but we have to understand that that grief is a learning curve, not just something that we just sit on. And they're going to present you with plenty of things to grieve over. Believe me, they already have, and that's the path they tread. It's not the path I tread. Greed has no control. Humans create greed. Greed does not create anything. Only humans have psychopathic behaviors. No other species says that's not true, but I get it. Humans are the problem. And the thing is, we know we're the problem, but we're not prepared to deal with it. If we face up to our own responsibilities individually, collectively, we know we can get along. And that's the thing. It's like once we start to congregate, once we start to work as a collective, that's when they get frightened and the wars turn up. So greed is basically the component that they use in order to justify killing other people. War is the only way that greed can operate in this world. It's destined to kill. Greed kills, but it's created by those that want control. So they've reverse engineered it. So they kill because they can, because that gives them control, and then they spread the fear around. So fear is the way they present this greed. So whatever. I'd like to point out the difference between a banker and a bankster. A banker runs a bank. A bankster runs the central bank, but it's not just one person. No. We have to have some form of exchange in which we can levy goods from each other. I mean, I like the idea of, bartering, but that's gone. It's gone. Yeah, we have money, and money is how we are controlled, because we can't have money if we're under a digitized system that doesn't allow us to use cash. And this is part of this digitization. Again, we have to hang on to the organic, the analog, and the real you. And if we hold on to that, then we can actually use their tools against their control system. I mean, people are buying into all sorts of digital nonsense. I mean, they just are, and it's greed. I mean, they know that they're being told, "Oh, you can make a fortune with Bitcoin or whatever it is." Digitize yourself. That's what they're saying. Create an avatar. You will not be flesh and blood. You will be a neuro. I don't want to get too far into this because I'll get completely banned. Thank you, Catherine, for reminding me of many things that are happening, and I have my way of coping. Staying creative. That's the main thing, is keep being creative, keep spreading unconditional love. You know, a school bully hates it when you hold open your arms to them. You know, I don't know. Keep your enemies close. I don't know. What works for me doesn't work for everybody. Make your active individual choice. Be creative. Spread as much love as you can. Be as peaceful as you can, because they want you at war. His story is in the letters. It is. It's been rewritten many times. And here's the new memory wipe. All right. Love you. Could talk to you all day, Catherine. All right. Bye bye. I got to go because I've got to get back to work. I need to remember to proofread before I hit the send button. I'm a terrible typist. I can't. I mean, I go in some of these chat groups and I'm always miles behind. I'm answering the questions that have been asked by the pontificator, and I'm answering them, and it's like, 10 rows behind everything. One-on-one, I'm okay. It's all good, but this idea that you're all thrown into a chat room together, and the fastest typer, Speaking of your way until you see the War of the Words scenario they have been plotting for decades, that's you finally admitted that UFOs exist, which we already know, of course. But the thing is, it's like, how can they use it if we fear? Okay, I am going to leave it. Catherine, we should talk. I mean, let's have a chat, because I know what you're saying. I'm just not playing their game. I don't want to. All right. There's a great book out there called The Language of Betterarchy by Danny Katz. Please read it. It's worth it, because our language defines us a lot of the time. They use the words. All right. Bye-bye. Addiction. It's no different than a substance addiction. Gun addiction. Yeah, but addiction is a dis-ease. It's when you're not at ease with the system. So it's a dis-ease. So all addiction is a dis-ease. And of course you're diseased. We're all diseased, just in different way. That's all. Turn it to your advantage. Turn it into love, creativity. Get creative. All right. I love you. Gotta go. Bye.